Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. This is your Z107.7 local news for Saturday, April 25th, 2025. The Desert Rat Convention continues today out of the Old Schoolhouse Museum in 29 Palms. Beginning at 11 a.m. today, there's going to be a lot of family-friendly events featuring the 760 Snake Club, the First Class Miners, Mojave Miniland Golf, the 29 Palms Historical Society, a treasure hunt through the museum, and a lot more. The event goes until 2 p.m. At 5 p.m., there'll be dinner and music featuring food from the Hangry Bear and music from the Melancholy Babies. Tickets for the dinner are $25 for 29 Palms Historical Society members or $35 for non-members. You can buy tickets at the door or in advance at the museum. That's happening today out at the Old Schoolhouse Museum located at 6760 National Park Drive in 29 Palms. And as always, the weekend brings live shows to the Morongo Basin with a few local legends taking the stage in Yucca Valley and another free concert in 29 Palms. Joining us with a look at what's happening is Hepcat Jeff Harmatz.
The free concert series continues at Freedom Plaza tonight. It begins at 6 p.m. with the Latina Dance Project, an interactive all-ages dance experience. At 7 p.m., Steve Jones brings his Celtic country electric blues punk rock to the stage. He'll be followed by Carly Ann Calbero, whose powerhouse vocals and Pacific Northwest roots channel raw emotion. In Yucca Valley, two local favorites share the stage at Mojave Gold. Alien Probe and Jessica Von Rabbit are throwing what they are calling the Close Encounters of the Weird Kind Intergalactic Space Party. They ask you to dress to extraterrestrial and say there will be prizes too. Doors open at 7 p.m. Music starts at 8 p.m. Tickets are $15. Mojave Gold is located at 56193 29 Palms Highway in Yucca Valley. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Jeff Harmatz.
Mojave Safe Riders and the Desert Riders Guild present the Art of the Protest event at the High Desert Artists in Yucca Valley from 3 to 5 today. Reporter Gabriel Hart spoke to event organizer Greg Gilbert to find out more about the event that aims to celebrate the creative exuberance within the spirit of protest.
Former Copper Mountain College Board of Trustee president and founder of CMC's HAL Journal, Greg Gilbert now spends his time working with Mojave Sage Writers, a local group of authors who claim to connect readers with writers. Because the group will often include interdisciplinary work, Gilbert brought in one of his protest posters used at the No Kings rally at the group's February meeting, and it instantly got people talking.
Anyway, I showed him the poster, and it animated the whole room. There was 20 of us in there, and they all talked about how they thought that, given the world we're living in, this is a time when artists, poets and writers, and people who have a pretty good grasp of social economic issues in the world should speak up, and that this would be something that we do through our signs when we stand on corners, but there's other forms of being heard, and that's our poems and our essays and our just prose in general.
Gilbert approached High Desert Artists with a gathering in mind, where people could bring in their posters, do spoken word, offer prayer, sing their lyrics, or anything they want that would express their feelings on the First Amendment and the pursuit of happiness for all. His pitch was met with enthusiasm, and planning the Art of the Protest event was soon underway. While the event is open to all with an open mic, featured writers and artists include Gilbert, Ruth Nolan, Starflower Thompson, Patricia Morton, Jennifer Germano, Cindy Wren, Jennifer Palmer-Lacey, James De Silva, and Rich Seuss of local publishing house Choya Needles.
And we're just hoping that we have happy chaos, that we have people out there and that it becomes a bit of a happening. This sounds political, but more than being political, it's just simply about what we do as Americans, because I have asked the people at High Desert Artists how would they feel if people representing other views arrived and wanted to share their materials, and they're certainly welcome. So I think High Desert Artists is like a number of institutions throughout our community, that it believes in free expression and it believes in being there for all of us.
Because he was raised in the 50s and saw the active protest continue through the 60s to the present, I asked Gilbert how he's witnessed that spirit change through the years.
I am seeing a multi-generational presence that I don't recall in the 60s. But I do remember in the 60s, at least on film, the people that inspired me were the socialists from the 30s and 40s who stood up against big money back during the Gilded Age. And I think we have maybe a 4 or 5 generational span of memory and we have to learn these things all over again. What hasn't changed is the kind of joy that people seem to bring to protest. The whistles and the posters and the singing together seems to be a constant that goes way back.
It should be, like an exuberance there, right?
Right, it's a celebration of freedom, which I appreciate, and it's fun to be at.
The Art of the Protest starts at 3 p.m. this Saturday at High Desert Artists, located at 55635 29 Palms Highway in Yucca Valley. The event is free and open to the public. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Gabriel Hart.
On Sunday, you can experience new works by contemporary poets through multimedia performance. Other People's Poems is a live poetry showcase in which performers stage their interpretation of poetic writings. It's an experimental take on poetry events that celebrates and deepens the social experience of reading poetry. Artists Acer Sherratt, Cam Farmer, Spencer Kaiser, and Sua Yu will be performing poems by Kelsey L. Smoot, L. Scully, and Maya Martinez. The event is a co-presentation by the Firehouse and High Desert Times. Books by the writers will be sold on site by the High Desert Times. The doors open at 5 o'clock and the show is at 6. There's a $5 to $10 suggested donation. Other People's Poems is taking place this Sunday at the Firehouse JT. They're located at 65430 Winters Road in Joshua Tree. And once again, this Sunday, both the Yucca Valley Airport and 29 Palms Airport will be bringing out their aircraft and running the runway with pilots, show cars, and anything else interesting. Both airports will also be offering donuts, coffee, hot dogs, and of course, lots of pilots happy to show off their aircraft. It begins at 10 a.m. and goes till at least 12 o'clock noon. Either head to the Yucca Valley Airport out on Old Woman Springs Road and Aviation Drive, or go to the 29 Palms Airport located near Wonder Valley on 29 Palms Highway. Choose one or jump into your powered parachute, take off on Sunfair Dry Lake, and hit up both. And that's your local news for Saturday. You can hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. More Morongo Basin residents get their local news from Z107.7 than any other source. Reporting out of Joshua Tree, California, alongside the award-winning Z107.7 news team, I'm Robert Hayden.